Okay, I thought I might want to share with you two of my Train albums. This one right here where you see the pictures going like transitioning to the other one. That's one of them, of one of the locomotives the Eastern Idaho Railroad used to have. And as for its current location, I do not know, nor do I know if it's been scrapped or not. And another one of my Train albums is this one right here. This thing is a GP 40-2LW by the number of 40304030 with 3,000 horsepower. The Canadian National used to own it at one time. They, I believe, used to, right up until, I'd want to say, like, what was it? I'd want to say, yeah, about, like 2008, like August or like mid to late July, or somewhere in August somewhere. And here it's got a couple tanks, as you can see right there. And as you can see, it still has the CN logo on the front of its nose. And here it's what it's trying to do with these two tanks is take it out to the Clayville corner and all that. Then it was gonna come back, and as you can see, these two tanks, they are empty, and they will be filled with gasoline. And once they get picked up, it's a very serious demand that they have some sort of rail car between the locomotive and tanks, only if they are holding something extremely combustible and very toxic. And this guy, well, he works for the Eastern Idaho Railroad. He works for them at their Twin Falls office, and he lives down in, he lives right here in the Mini-Cassia area, south central Idaho, over in Kimberly, I think it is. And he's a pretty nice guy once you get to know him. Yeah, but and all that, he's one of them nice guys who really wouldn't give a crap about talking to you, as long as you keep it real. And this album has some terrain photos in it of the Eastern Idaho Railroad and Union Pacific. And this one is directly of the Union Pacific, as you can see by that locomotive right there. And as for this one, and as for this one, it's got 191 photos of mostly the Eastern Idaho Railroad, with a little Union Pacific and some other locomotives, like one from the Southern Pacific. And this is what I titled the album as. This whole album's pretty huge. Oops. And the day I caught this train was on this date here, which was midweek sometime. And as we can see here, it's a manifest freight just by the looks of the cars. This is a GP35 with a 16-cylinder diesel-powered engine. Both of these locomotives are GP35s. This one you see the mouse scrolling on, that's a GP35R. And this one, right here, where the mouse is going up and down on, that's a GP35L. And this is a photo of the West Main Street crossing here in Burley, Idaho, which is the first crossing on the Oakley Spur. And this, I believe, is a photo of one of the two railroad crossings over on Normal Avenue in Burley, Idaho. Oh, and I was working on this rail car once, which was a few years ago, and I saw some label on it that said it was built in Nova Scotia, which is on the east coast of Canada. And here we have a couple tanks in the siding. This is one of the many railroads here in America that is based here in America. And this tank has either been to or was at the ethanol plant, which is just sort of a mile or two. No, it's a mile south of Burley. About a good mile and a half southwest of Burley. And this is the crossing with gates up on Highland Avenue. And this is the first crossing on the Declo Spur right here, which is also on Highland Avenue. And here we have 3524. This train is a double header, and there's another locomotive behind this one, and the one behind it is a GP30M with about 2,000 with a 16-cylinder 2,250 horse diesel engine. This one's got a 16-cylinder 2,500 horse engine. And here's the tail end of 3006. And as we can see, it's right there. The cab is blocked. And there's the tail end of 3524, a GP35R. And this one is 3512. It was built back in April of 1965. It was used, well, back before the Eastern Idaho Railroad got it. Well, the Eastern Idaho Railroad is owned by Watco Companies, LLC, and they own the Eastern Idaho Railroad and a few other short line railroads and all that. And before they purchased it, the Western Pacific used to own this thing. It's one of them GP35s. And here we have a string of tanks that was put into the siding by the Burley Switcher on May. Well, the date of this photo was May 27th, 2009, and this track you see right here is the Declo Spur, and the track these tanks are in is a siding on the Declo Spur. And here we have another view of them. And this track right here is the Declo Spur. And the crossing I was at when I did this photo was the 350 East crossing, which I tend to call the beet dump crossing, because on the other side of these tanks is the beet dump. Here we have 3006, a GP30M with 2000 with a 16 cylinder, 2002 with a 16 cylinder, 2,250 horse diesel engine. Here's 3524. The date of this photo was June 7th, I believe. And there you can see the engineer just trying to take a good peek ahead and seeing what's in front of him. There we have its horn, and there we have its muffler. And this tank right here was built in June of 1989. So, other than that, I thought I might want to give you a video tour of this album and a couple others here on my Facebook profile of nothing but train related stuff. But anyways, I hope you can enjoy this video. Have fun rail fanning, and like P. Walpar says, any train is better than no train, and if you see something moving, video it, and somebody will eventually see it. Well, actually, scratch that. His other quote is, if it moves, video it, and somebody will eventually see it.